Hi, Miss.
Hi, Miss.
Hi, Miss.
Good morning, everybody. Okay, guys, so yesterday we started with a new lesson, and its title is The Monster in the Mountain. As you know, we were discussing first what is the monster in the mountain, and you all gave suggestions till we read the text and we discovered that the monster is the volcano in Mount Vesuvius, which is a very dynamic and active volcano. Which destroyed huge areas and huge places in that country. This is what was the lesson about. Yesterday we finished reading the lesson. We talked about the genre, and we said that the genre is the narrative nonfiction, since the text is telling us a story, but at the same time giving us information about the experience of the person who's telling us the story, such as what happened with Marta Ramirez, the scientist who was searching to find the reason why this volcano keeps on erupting. Today, we are going to continue with the reading comprehension, but today we are going to start with something new, which is the figures of speech or the figurative language. I explained yesterday what is the difference between literal and figurative, but I'll repeat also. I told you that we have two kinds of languages, yani two kinds of, let's say, a way to describe things or to express our opinions and so on. The first way is called a literal way, and the second way is called a figurative way. Okay, now, what is the difference? When I say literally, it means I'm saying the things as they are. Yani I'm not trying to describe them or use any other word to describe something. Like, for example, the car is blue. It's literally blue. As I said, I'm not trying to use any other word. So this is a normal sentence and I'm describing what can I see. Figurative language means that you have to figure out what something means. And I gave you an example yesterday about I've got your back. And if you want to think about this literally, it means I'm holding you from the back. But if you're going to think about this figuratively, it means I am behind you, I can protect you. In the second example, you're a doll. is also an example. So if I said you're a doll, it doesn't mean that she is literally a doll or really a doll. It means she's cute, she's beautiful like a doll. So that's why I said you're a doll. Okay? Let's now move to, yes, Rama. Yes, Rama, I allowed you to unmute. Yes.
nothing. مش الحال. مش الحال.
Okay. Now we are going to move to the first kind of figurative language or figures of speech. There are many kinds of figures of speech. We are going to explain 3 of them, which are the simile, the metaphor, and the personification. Let us start with the simile. First of all, guys, Anna, when I say a simile, it means I'm comparing two things which are unalike. لما أقول comparing يعني عم شبه. This is what you mean by the word compare. تشبيه يعني. I'm comparing two things which are unalike, but they resemble each other in at least one aspect. يعني they look alike in one aspect. Now, what do we use in order to write a simile? You use as, you use like, you use similar to, you use as يعني as beautiful as, for example. So دايما in a simile, it's a comparison between two things which are unsimilar, of course, unlike, and using as or like. Look at the examples. The history paper was as tricky as a labyrinth. So I'm comparing the history paper to a labyrinth. At exam time, the high school student was as busy as a bee. You know that the bee is always busy. So I'm comparing the high school student to a bee. What am I using here? As and as. If I said she is soft like a flower, it means I'm comparing the girl to a flower using like. If I said she is pretty like a moon, it means I am comparing and I'm using like. So did you all understand what is a simile? Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Simile is to compare two things, نشبه two things which are unalike using as or like. هلا. Let's move to the metaphor. The metaphor is the same as the simile, but the difference is that here you do not use as or like. يعني instead of saying she is beautiful like a moon, you just say she is a moon without using as or like. So the metaphor is an indirect comparison between two things, okay? And without using any tool of comparison, يعني without using as or like. Like she is fishing in troubled water. I'm comparing the water to troubled. يعني of course the water is not troubled, but I'm comparing it to this word. He drowned in the sea of grief. I'm comparing the sea to grief. Okay? What do you mean by troubled water here? He is fishing in a troubled water. What do you mean by troubled water?
مش like فيها كتير مهيدة.
Dirty, polluted, contaminated water. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, but I use the word troubled, no, just to show that there are pollution. There is pollution in this place. So this is the difference between metaphor and personification. So I'll repeat: a simile is a comparison between two things which are different using as or like, and a metaphor is a comparison between two things which are also different but without using as or like. Got it?
Yes.
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 Okay. Now we move to the third kind of figures of speech, which is the personification.
Hello, Miss.
Miss.
بتكون انقطعت عند الكهرباء. Yeah, definitely.
Miss Safa.
Yes, yes, guys, yes, yes. Just, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, miss.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's start with personification, okay? So personification is different than similes and metaphors, okay? If you look at the word personification, so it has the word person, right? Means the human person.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we mean by personification? Sometimes you can represent an animal or an object as having human attributes of form, character, feelings, behavior, and so on. So when you are writing a personification, it means you are borrowing the characteristics of a human and giving them to a thing or an animal. Okay? So when I say, for example, the sky weeps, what do you mean by weeps? Weeps means cries. Okay? Does the sky cry?
No.
Who cries?
No.
Who cries?
The people.
People. So I'm
Humans.
borrowing this action from the person and giving it to the sky. Okay? The shadow of the moon danced on the lake. Who dances?
The human.
People.
Human.
Human.
So now I am giving the action of dancing to the shadow of the moon. Does the shadow of the moon dance?
No.
No, Miss. It just like swooshes around.
So I'm giving the action of dancing to the shadow of moon. So these are a person's actions. These are humans' actions. So I'm borrowing them from humans or from a person and giving them to a thing or an animal. Did you understand? What do we mean by a personification?
Yes.
Who can
Yes.
repeat to us what is a simile?
What did you say, miss?
What is a simile? Who can help repeat to us what is a simile?
Me. Can I, miss, please?
Yes, you can. Go ahead.
Okay. It's when you شبه two things ما they don't
Compare
relate
two
to each
things.
other.
Please use
Compare two things
the-
don't relate to each other. That don't relate to each other.
Okay.
Like you said, students, high students, something like a bio هيك.
Okay, so the simile is when you compare two things which are different using what? Using what?
As in like.
As like.
Exactly.
Okay. And the metaphor is a comparison between two things also using what? Using what?
What did you say?
The metaphor is
Last-
also a comparison or not? Who can tell us what is a metaphor?
Miss, the metaphor you just say like She is a she's mo
She is a moon.
she is a
An
moon, like
example. I
هيك
want you to define it.
like you don't use as like or
يعني it's a comparison. I want a
yeah
different.
comparison yeah هيك شيء.
مين عم يحكي؟ It's not هيك شيء يا راما أبدا. It's a comparison between two things which are unalike without using as or like. يعني or without using any comparison tool. This is
Yeah, ma, I said without as or
this is
like.
the difference between metaphor and a simile. So a simile is a comparison between two things using as and like, and a metaphor is a comparison between two things but without using as or like. Who can explain what is a personification?
Okay.
Yeah.
A personification is something that you give it's for a human, but you give it to a thing or a animal. Like describe it.
Yes, a personification
Describe.
is when you give an animal or thing. When you give an animal or thing a characteristics or an action or a feeling or a behavior of a human being, of a person, to an animal or thing. Okay?
Okay.
Done.
Okay.
Let's now move to the exercise. We have an exercise here of 10 sentences. I want you to start doing it. وما حدا يقول لي this is a simile or this is a metaphor. I'm not going to accept these answers. I want to know, why is this a simile? Why is this a metaphor? Why is this a personification? Go ahead.
Miss?
Yes. Yes.
Lage. Sorry.
What? Who's talking? يلا miss 2 minutes and I will start, okay?
I'm done.
Me too.
شو guys done? Are they
I'm
difficult?
done.
No.
No.
Good. Yeah, let's start with number 1. Yes, يا Adam, conduct number 1. Adam. علي شغري number 1.
Okay, miss.
Yeah, read it please.
Jenny had cooked the candy too long. When she was ready to cut it in squares, it was a rock.
Okay. Jenny had cooked the candy too long. When she was ready to cut it in squares, it was a rock. What? Where is it? Where is the comparison here, Aslan? Explain to us. Where is the comparison here? What is the right here comparing?
You're talking with all of us or just with
With Ali, the one who is answering. Yalla ya Ali. She cooked the candy too long. When she wanted to cut it in squares, it was a rock. Yani, what is he comparing to a rock?
The candy.
The candy, very good. So here we are comparing the candy to a rock. Okay?
A rock.
Okay, Ali, very
Okay.
good, Habibi. Is there any comparison, comparing tool? Yani, did he use as or like? Yani, ya Ali, did he say it was like a rock or it was a rock?
It was a
So
rock.
I'm comparing the candy to the rock. And he didn't use any comparison
A rock.
tool. So what is this? A metaphor or a simile or personification? It's a metaphor. Very good. Number 2. Yalla, quickly. Who will do number 2? Yalla, ya Abdullah.
yes, miss.
Do number 2.
Miss, I cannot see the screen.
Type, I'll choose somebody else. Yalla, Angelina.
Yes, miss. Sue Ann worked hard on her report. After she gave it before the class, she felt light as a feather. It's a simile because it has as and she felt light as a feather. The sentence has an
So
as.
Sue Ann worked hard on her report. After she gave it before the class, before the class and in front of the class, she felt light as a feather. يعني they are comparing Sue. قولي لي أول شيء, they are comparing whom? Sue to what?
Sue
To what?
Light as a feather, feather,
A feather. Type. Is there any comparison tool?
Yes, as.
As. So this is what?
A simile.
A simile. Very good. Excellent, ya miss.
Thank you.
طيب. Let's move to Hassan Zainuddin. يلا يا Hassan. Number 3.
Okay. The trees of the forest sympathetically watched over the lost child.
Okay.
They're comparing the trees to.
They're not comparing here. They are giving
Oh.
the trees a certain characteristic. What is it?
The trees are watching over the child, the lost child.
So, who watches usually?
And my parents.
Okay, so watch is a human characteristic, is a human behavior, right?
So it's a personification.
Excellent, Hassan. Number 4.
Do I do it?
No, I'm choosing someone. Just a second. Yalla ya Salman. Salman. Out of order. Yalla ya Leia. Leia Ta'abul, go ahead. Yes, Julia.
Yes, miss.
Yes, go ahead.
The storm is a savage beast. It took the house in its teeth and shook it.
Okay, the storm was the savage beast. It took the house in its teeth and shook it. Who does this?
A beast, a monster.
So this is what?
A simile, like a monster.
It took the house in its teeth and shook it. Who does this?
For a monster.
So this is a personification. Who has teeth? Who shakes? Okay. The day after the rain, the air was clean and fresh. A soft little breeze carried the scent of lilacs. Yalla, who will do this? Yalla Mar Sharafuddin. The day after the rain, the air was clean and fresh. A soft little breeze carried the scent of the lilacs. Yes.
It's a personification.
Very good. Where's the action of humans that he is using here?
Carried.
Carried. Very good. Very good. Okay. The boys' room was an amusement arcade. Yalla, who will do this? Maryam or Marwa? Would you do this? Number 6. The boys' room was an amusement arcade. What am I comparing here? Yalla, miss, who will do this? Yes, Samia. The boys' room was
an amusement.
Yes.
It's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor. Very good. He is comparing the boys' room to an amusement arcade without using any comparison tool. So this is a metaphor. Number 7, computers talk to one another.
Can I?
Yes,
Miss, I
Adam.
keep losing internet, sorry, because it's raining.
Okay. Yes, Adam.
Personification.
Personification. Can you tell us why?
Because the computers don't talk.
Because computers don't talk. I know that, but why? Why is it a personification? This is not the reason.
Because they put the computers talk to one another.
Not because of this, yes. Because the characteristic or this behavior, the behavior of talking, is a human's behavior. Number 8.
Miss, can I?
Yes, Leia.
Louis is as strong and tall as a redwood. It's a metaphor.
No, we used as.
Oh, it's a personification.
Personification, really? Yeah, miss, I said if you are comparing two things using as or like, this is a simile, but really personification. Luis is as strong and tall as redwood. So I'm comparing Luis to a redwood. So this is a simile. I'm using as. Number 9. Yes, Ghadi.
Yes, miss.
Yalla.
The train whistle screamed at the train.
No, miss, I cannot hear if you're talking.
Yes, Ghadi, continue.
Flew through the tunnel. Miss, simile because he used as.
Very good. And he is comparing what? هون.
The
No, this is not a simile. لحظة. The train whistle screamed as the train flew through the tunnel. هون as هون is not used as a comparison. As يعني هو ومارق الترين. هو ومارق الترين بالtunnel. The whistle screamed. What usually screams?
Miss, the people.
People. يعني I'm giving the action of screaming to a whistle. صح?
Yes, miss. يعني
So this is a
personification.
personification. يلا, the last one. The last one. Hassan Fouane. The waxed floor was as slippery as an ice rink.
Miss, this is a simile because it has as.
حدا شيء اللي it has as. اللي they are comparing the waxed floor to an ice rink using as. Okay? لأنه sometimes as comes in a sentence but not as a form of comparison. مثل هاي, the train whistle screamed as the train. يعني while the train was while the train flew through the tunnel. Okay? Okay?
Okay.
ماشي. طيب, we're done for today.
Hello.
Okay, we are done for today. This is the last exercise. You may leave. This is the last session. Enjoy your vacation. You have 9 days, so enjoy them. And I'll see you on March 15th on Monday, inshallah. Okay? Goodbye.
Okay, miss, thank you so much.
Bye.
Miss,
Bye.
thank you.
Goodbye, miss.
Bye, miss, thank you.
Bye.